Brandon Sanderson, author of so many wonderful novels, including Mistborn, Skyward, Way of Kings, Wars of Radiance. Why did they all blank my mind as soon as I started filming? He's a great author, and he is actually rather slow at writing. He does 500 words an hour. I tend to do 1,000 words an hour, and I do less writing hours technically than him, but he is known for his consistency and commitment to the craft, showing up and simply putting those in, as he says it in his lectures, which are free on YouTube if you want to check them out. Also, Jed Hearn does an awesome coverage of those, so big inspiration in that space. But I decided to try his writing routine for 1 week. So, if you're not familiar with Brandon Sanderson's writing routine, it's a bit crazy. He sleeps until 1 a.m., has a writing session from then until 5, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong, and also the text correcting myself on any of these issues will be actually on the screen right now, so if you're listening, check that out. And then he will have family time from 5 until his next writing session, which is from 11 to 2 or longer, depending upon which project he's working on, how far behind he is on said project, or how motivated he is to finish a chapter or book or stuff like that. So, what was I thinking? Is a great question. I was thinking that I could finish this thing ahead of time, which I did. I finished my book. Very excited about finishing it ahead of time, and I do see the appeal to this. So, we're gonna cue the time lapse of nights 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, because 7 is the one that I really want to talk about. All of those ones were a little bit less. I wrote about 1,000 words ish in each, which is good. Finished chapters on a lot of them, and set myself up for the last night with the fun climax chapters. And resolution, don't forget that part. And I have very little thoughts gathered, except for something about creativity and spontaneity. So, us creatives, we tend to be more spontaneous, which means we're bad at deadlines. I actually, as I said, finished 1 day ahead. My goal was the 28th of June to finish. I finished the 27th, albeit at 5:29 in the morning. So, there's certainly an appeal there. So, but with creative writers, we can be very committed, and I think that the trick is with this, and the thing that I learned is writers should have a routine. Well, I have a routine. I get up at 5, I write for a few hours, do 1,000 words, spend time with my family, do school, do what is needed throughout the day, have another writing session. Near the end of the day, I'll read, I'll do other stuff, but my goal is 2,000 words a day, which is, I think, about Sanderson's. It is also Christopher Paolini's, and it's around the industry standard for fiction writers, I believe. But we can get behind, but we can also get ahead. And so I think it is important to maybe have these days, or nights in this case, where we can actually just sit down and be like, I have the next 6 hours to write. And I wrote over 1,000 words each of those hours on this epic 7th night. And that's kind of crazy for me. That is over 7,000. I wrote 7,000 words in a night plus some, which is crazy for me. Usually only writing like 2,000 words a day. So obviously I was in finishing drive and spontaneous finishing drive, but that was mixed with this. So I think my takeaway from this, for you other writers out there, and those of you who are just checking this out to see how outrageous Sanderson is, guys, he's a robot in a trench coat. It's obvious. So, my number one takeaway for this video and for this routine is that you must have a routine if you intend to succeed as a creative writer. That's going to sound heretical to some of you more spontaneous creatives. I was fairly spontaneous. I didn't even outline. It sounds like I'm saying I didn't outline for this project. I did. I just used to before, when I was more spontaneous and less strategic about my writing. Outlining really helps you get faster, as Sanderson talks about in his free writing lectures, which I highly recommend you check out. Again, Jed Hearn has a summary and highlights video about that over on his channel, so check that out. He's a huge inspiration to me as a booktuber, an author tuber, if I can count myself as that. I don't think I can. But as things go, it is good to have this routine and an outline, as it helps you to be a lot faster, more consistent, and even if you're a slower writer, get ahead of those in your industry because of that sheer consistency and the commitment to the craft. So it's good to emulate Sanderson in that way. But when you trail off randomly, does anyone else wonder, like, I mean, he's talking about this on his podcast, and I love The Matrix. Does anyone, like, I just want, if I ever get to meet Sanderson, which is impossible, I think it'd just be funny to be like, Mr. Sanderson, like an Agent Smith kind of moment. No? It'd be fun. On with the video. So, I think I might start doing these sorts of nights maybe once a month or twice a month, like, this is my night to catch up or get ahead. And I think that could be something other writers could explore doing as well. My main conclusion for this video: Sanderson is crazy. Blessings.